Silence, space, emptiness and peacefulness are very familiar in their own nature. So I would like everybody to remember these 4 words: silence, space, emptiness and peacefulness. And where do they exist? In between. And this in between is in between your thoughts, in between your feelings, in between your energies, in between your 5 senses. So bring your attention in between. There is a beautiful example of the fishing net. So the fishing net has the ropes which are tied together to catch the fish. And my invitation is for you to be like the water. Don't be the fish, be the water. Recognize the spaces in between the fishing net. Your mind is literally like a fishing net, and the focus is only placed on the ropes, on one thought, another thought, third thought. The focus is placed on the ropes. And my invitation is to stop and to see through the mind, to see in between, to look directly into the emptiness, space, silence, peacefulness. It only takes a few seconds to pause, to center yourself, and to shift your focus from the ropes, from the objects, into in between, being like the water. Silence, space, emptiness, peacefulness. And this will be an exercise, a training. You can think of it as a retraining process. It's not only a meditation that you do just once a day or a couple of times a day. It's a retraining process. Retraining process of how to live correctly. You see, we spend 20, 30, 40 years, everybody here has spent decades living in objectivity. And now we need to invest our time into retraining of how to live correctly. So this practice can be practiced anytime, wherever you are, always remembering to pause. Step number 1 is to pause, to stop for a moment, to bring yourself to the center. Step number 2 is to shift your focus from being absorbed in the thoughts, emotions, energies, or spaces. Sometimes we are in some kind of different space, we're somewhere else. So this practice is not to teach you to be somewhere else, in some other kind of place within. It is to be present with what is here, So you shift your focus from objectivity, even your sometimes individual spaces, because sometimes you're here but your mind is somewhere else. So you need to come back, center yourself in the present moment, and then shift your focus from objectivity into the self. So step number 3 is to shift your focus into silence, space, emptiness, peacefulness. It is generally called inner space, but the inner space without content. So if you think about your heart and suddenly you start feeling your heart and all these beautiful feelings come, it's okay. Enjoy these beautiful feelings. But the invitation is to bring your attention, your focus into the inner space without content, without thoughts, feelings, energies, to go deeper, one level deeper. And once you are in the neutral space without content, the 4th step is to recognize that you are already aware of the neutral space as well. You are already aware and conscious of the neutral, empty space already. So this is a direct path from wherever you are. It's a direct guidance, a direct path, how to return to your true self in a matter of couple of minutes. Once you become more experienced, more used to the practice, you can recenter yourself, shift your focus, come back to your awareness, consciousness in a matter of few seconds. We need to understand how valuable and profound is this guidance, these 4 simple steps. To understand that when we are in our thoughts, we are at the very surface of existence. We're completely absorbed and lost in our mental world. There can be millions and billions and trillions of different kinds of thoughts that can run through your head. It has no substance to the real reality. When we come to our feelings, it's okay. It's good to become familiar with your feelings. It's good to heal them, let them go, to harmonize yourself, to feel more balanced. But yet again, our feelings are in reality in the 4th dimension. They're a little bit deeper, but they're simply another form with which we can spend all our life examining our feelings. Energies is a major one. Many of you are very advanced at energy already here. And my guidance is to leave energies as well. Let them rest. What do you want to do with them? You want to control them, play with them? It's another play. It's just like thoughts. You can change your thoughts, you can make them more positive, you can change your mental attitudes, it's fine. Just like feelings, you can cleanse them, heal them, purify them, it's fine. Energies are the same, it's just another object. It's just another form. So my invitation is to go beyond energy. Because you can spend not only this lifetime, you can spend another 100 lifetimes playing with energies on different dimensions. So you can even get lost in energy. And this is very, very common. It's extremely common actually. That spiritual people are in a deeper reality, yes, but they are now absorbed in the energy world. From the mind world, from the emotional world, now they're absorbed into energy world. So let's not camp there either. So the invitation is leave the objects, leave the energies, leave the forms, and go one step deeper into the silence, space, peacefulness, emptiness. Four qualities, very synonymous. And this now is generally called beingness. When you leave the energy, you discover beingness. Now this is where very few truly permanently step into that to make it permanent. The beingness is so beautiful. It's a very big liberation from thoughts, emotions, and energies. To be liberated from energies, to be in your presence, into your I am presence, is a very big liberation. Because now you're exiting the energy world into the field or space of beingness. And that is what I call a maturity. So when one disidentifies from energy and steps fully into presence, that is a spiritual maturity. Because one has already tasted the beautiful tastes of various energies. One has already experienced the ups and downs and the heaven and all in between the heaven. One has already seen and tasted life and what is all in between in terms of experiences. And presence is maturity. So the guidance is to step into a present way of being. So this is step number 3, yes? Step number 1 is to stop and pause. Step number 2 is to center yourself, to bring your mind here and now, because your mind may run somewhere else, it might be scattered, it may run into tomorrow, it may run into another timeline, it may run into the past timeline. Your mind can be anywhere. The mind is so scattered. In Buddhism it's called the jumping monkey. It jumps from one branch into another. So step number 1 is to pause, to stop for a moment. Step number 2 is to bring your mind to the center, which is a vertical dimension. There's no past, no future, it's vertical, it's here and now. And to shift your focus, like with the camera, yes? You shift your focus from the objects into in between. And in between to discover silence, space, emptiness, peacefulness. These 4 qualities can be defined as presence. Being actually present here and now, not involved in thoughts, emotions, or energies. To be present here and now. And step number 4, when you are present, then to shift your focus even one step back or up, we may say, to reverse your attention and to see that you are already aware of your presence, beingness, space, emptiness, silence, peacefulness. You're already aware of that, and you're already conscious of that. So these simple 4 steps are combining a very profound teaching, a very direct path, which can be called a practice and retraining how to live correctly. And at first, you will notice how difficult it is to do this practice, because your focus is jumping everywhere. It's hard to maintain your focus for more than 6 seconds. The scientists discovered that an average human person can maintain their focus on a single object on average for 6 seconds only. Because there's another text message, because somebody said something, because there's another noise, because there's another distraction, getting lost in distraction, getting stressed, getting tensed, getting worried, getting anxious, getting doubtful, getting lost. You know, this is how life happens, and we get lost in it, the river of life. So you need to sharpen your focus. You need to slowly develop concentration. You need to continuously remember these 4 steps and to continuously integrate into your day-to-day life, not only in the retreat. This is where we learn and strengthen, but then even in your day-to-day life, to take it as a retraining process of how to live correctly. So the obstacles will be immediately your focus concentration, always jumping somewhere. It's fine. I'm already giving you advice of what's going to happen when you're going to practice it. Your focus concentration will be the first problem. It's like jumping monkey. Boom, 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 boom. It jumps everywhere. It's okay. It's a training. It's a process. Nobody was born perfect. Step by step. But many little steps in the right direction will make a very big, profound change. The second obstacle that you will experience is not only your focus attention, but your mind. That the mind is scattered. That the mind has a momentum. You know, like you've been pedaling your mind for the last few decades, and now you start stopping pedaling. You know, like the mind is gonna get confused. Hey, where is the engine? Let's keep on going. What's the next thing? You know, let's do something. You know, the mind needs pedaling. So when you stop and pause in the first step, you immediately stop pedaling your mind. So the second obstacle is going to be your mind, because it has a momentum. It wants to keep going. It wants a next thing. It wants to be satisfied. It's going to say, oh, I'm not satisfied with it. I have my likes and dislikes, it's gonna come up with so many things. Oh, believe me, your mind is brilliant at coming up for excuses. It's gonna excuse itself, it's gonna try to find a way to convince you that you have to keep pedaling because you're gonna lose something. You know, you're gonna lose something. Your mind has no more propelling energy. You're gonna lose something. When you stop pedaling, it's like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? You know, it's the huge, vast unknownness. You know, you're so used to your inner world. You know, it's actually addiction, to be very correct. You know, a natural, normal human state of consciousness, from the eyes of truth, is being completely addicted. You know, if I was the doctor, and I would say that these are our, you know, this is my patient. You know, what prescription I could give to the student or to the patient. So from the eyes of truth, the patient is humanity, and my prescription or my definition of the disease would be being severely addicted to mental processes, being lost in illusionary reality, being extremely rarely present, extremely rarely conscious, and being hallucinated by some kind of imagined projections, imagined forms and shapes and realities. And from the eyes of truth and the way it really is, you know, I'm not saying, but you know, we should open a big hospital, you know, to put everybody in and to start to de-hallucinate everybody, to start to deprogram everybody. From the eyes of truth, we could say that everybody is pre-programmed. So habits, you know, what are habits? It's a pre-programmed action. You know, like computer software, you know, you pre-program it and it's gonna function like that. Some people live completely pre-programmed. From morning to night, it's just one program running. So coming back into presence is already maturity, and it's the very first step to meet reality the way it is. So it will take time to practice. It's a retraining process. You can integrate into every moment. Brushing your teeth, don't be in your mind somewhere, oh, I'm brushing my teeth, what's going to happen next? You're not aware of brushing your teeth. You know, you're somewhere else. Well, luckily the body knows how to do it, so it keeps on brushing your teeth, you know. So consciously stopping and pausing, it's stopping to stop peddling the mind. And the mind will be an obstacle. It's fine, it's common, it's for everybody. It's a common disease that we know that everybody has. And the cure for this common disease is to stop, pause, and to follow these 4 steps. So these 4 steps, to summarize, are very simple, but very profound and direct. And they can be integrated in your life as a continuous retraining process of how to live correctly. To remember where is your home. And this way you will continuously sharpen your focus, concentration, You're going to continuously stop peddling your mind, and you're going to start reversing the process into presence, from being in the mind to being in presence. And then remembering that you're aware of presence, space, silence, emptiness, peacefulness. You're aware of it, you're conscious of it, thus you are awareness, consciousness itself. So every step is completely verifiable. It's not new. It's just forgotten. And direct path to return home, to realize your own self.